Right now, they're afraid.
Hello and welcome to Select 10. This is the 12th video of our new TV show video series, and to find the most suitable new series that are worth your time, we've selected some of the best and most interesting current shows that have been released on Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, and Disney+. This list includes new sci-fi, comedy, and action thriller series, so watch the entire video to avoid missing any of them. Now let's start the video. Number 10. Heartbreak High. It is a 2022 teen drama series created by Hannah Carroll Chapman. It is a reboot of the 1994 series of the same name. The show centers on two best friends, Amory and Harper, who have been fascinated by their schoolmates' hookups and sexual relationships. They're so fixated on it that they've created the map, a detailed list of who has slept with whom at Hartley High, visually documenting stated encounters and intimate relationships. The map, which contains all of their dirty little secrets, is fixed to a board in an unused hallway. But of course, someone discovers it, and Hartley is plunged into turmoil as everybody's relationships, secrets, and a fair number of falsehoods are spread around. The major plot revolves around Amory, who is attempting to figure out her place in school after getting called out for the map and missing her childhood friend. The series develops its very own style and tone, frequently swinging between delightful, bitter, and witty. It is slightly more over the top than Sex Education and much more realistic than a show like Euphoria. And the show has a 7.2 rating on IMDb and a 90% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Number 9. The Serpent Queen. It is a historical period drama based on the life of Catherine de' Medici, Renaissance Queen of France. The plot centers on Catherine, an orphan girl who marries into the French court with the intention of bringing in a wealth of dowry and delivering descendants. Instead, she finds that her husband is in a relationship with an elderly woman who is incapable of having children. With her future obviously in question and little chance of becoming pregnant, Catherine must figure out who she should trust among her own private lords and ladies and the royal court's members while outsmarting everybody who misunderstands her will to survive. The story of Catherine is told in flashbacks as she explains her choices and teaches Rahima, her new servant companion, the values she's learned. So far, the show has been wildly entertaining, creative, and likely to become an addictive watch. The 4th episode will be released on October 2nd. And the show has a 7.4 rating on IMDb and an 86% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Number 8. SEAL Team. It is a military action series created by Benjamin Cavell. The series follows Bravo Squad, a unit of the U.S. Navy Special Warfare Development Group, as they prepare for and carry out risky operations around the world on short notice. The squad includes Jason, the group's fierce captain, and Ray, Jason's lifelong friend, along with faithful veterans, Sonny and Clay, as they go on covert operations all around the world. The series also examines how the stress of these tasks affects them and their homes, as well as how group members support each other on and off the battlefield. After seeing the terminal list, I began looking for the finest military action shows and discovered this one, and I must say, I am not disappointed. I finished the first 3 seasons last week. The 6th season of SEAL premiered on September 18, 2022, and the first 2 episodes are now available to stream. And the show has a 7.7 rating on IMDb and an 85% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Number 7. Pantheon. It is a sci-fi animated series created by Craig Silverstein. The story revolves around Maddie Kim, who experiences bullying from a gang of girls while dealing with her sadness over mourning her father, David, who passed away 2 years earlier. But one day, Maddie starts getting texts from an anonymous man claiming to be her recently departed father, whose mind has been transferred to the cloud following an experimental brain scan. In her quest to learn the truth, she discovers that David is the very first of a new type of UI human, but he won't be the last, as a global conspiracy emerges, attempting to spark a new kind of global war. With loads of intriguing clues and interesting insights, the Pantheon gets off to a brilliantly cryptic start. The animation appears fantastic and is undoubtedly among the best of 2022. The first 6 episodes are now available to stream. And the show has an 8 rating on IMDb and an 86% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Number 6. Thai Cave Rescue. It is a 6-part limited series based on the true events of the Tham Luang cave rescue that took place in 2018, which involved the rescue of 12 boys from the Wild Boars Junior Football Club and their coach from the waterlogged Tham Luang Nang Non tunnel system. It is an unseen account of the boys' teams and their coaches' trip to the Tham Luang cave systems, which transforms from a joyful expedition into a crucial rescue mission. The rescue became the focus of widespread media attention, bringing numerous volunteers, poured in by the thousands from all directions, and their combined efforts to save everyone's lives. Simply put, Thai Cave Rescue sensitively brings the tragic story back to life by presenting a properly unique perspective with more accessible viewpoints. And the show has a 7.1 rating on IMDb. Number 5. Fate, The Winx Saga. It is a supernatural teen drama series based on the animated series Winx Club. Unfortunately, this fantasy series got lost in Netflix's massive library, and only a small number of people are aware that season 2 just premiered. If you haven't seen this series yet, let me give you a quick overview so you can get started. The plot centers on Bloom, a fire-wielding fairy who joins Alphea, a supernatural private school in the Shadow World, where she lives in a room with other fairies, each with different magical powers. With the help of her new companions, Bloom begins to discover more about her background. Meanwhile, historical monsters known as the Burned Ones come to the Shadow World and endanger everybody at Alphea. Now, in order to protect the realm, Bloom alongside the other fairies must learn to control their supernatural powers while balancing friendship, competition, and the monsters who pose a threat to their own survival. And if you loved the original Winx Club or films like Harry Potter, you will enjoy this show. And the show has a 6.9 rating on IMDb and a 91% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Number 4. Pachinko. It is a period drama series based on the 2017 novel of the same name by Min Jin Lee. The story begins in the early 1990s with the appearance of Sunja as a youngster, the daughter of a handicapped fisherman whose life is about to transform completely. Part of this results from her decision to travel to Japan after marrying a kind priest named Isaac, which caused consequences throughout her family's generations. Pachinko is a unique show that does a fantastic job of portraying this multi-generational drama with magnificent scenery, outstanding acting, and a seamless transition between English, Japanese, and Korean dialogue. It is a wonderfully written, heartbreaking, epic historical drama that is not just one of the best Korean dramas this year, but easily one of the best series of 2022. And the show has an 8.4 rating on IMDb and a 94% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Number 3. The Bear. It is a comedy drama series created by Christopher Storer. The plot centers on Carmi, a talented cook from the field of fine dining, who, following the tragic death of a family member, returns to his hometown of Chicago to manage the sandwich shop owned by his parents. A far cry from his normal life, Carmi must manage the heartbreaking reality of running a small business, his stubborn and difficult restaurant staff, and his fragile family ties, while also dealing with the effects of his brother's suicide. As Carmi attempts to improve both the restaurant and his own life, he teams up with a harsh kitchen staff that ultimately demonstrates itself to be his true family. The Bear is a blend of subtle intellectual brilliance, family, and personal conflict, offered up with some pretty delicious food. You won't want to binge this show because you'll want to save the experience. It is a hidden gem and a must-watch on this list. And the show has an 8.1 rating on IMDb and a 91% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Number 2. Cobra Kai. It is a martial arts comedy drama series and a sequel to the original The Karate Kid films by Robert Mark Kamen. The story is set 30 years after the 1984 All-Valley Karate Championship and centers on Johnny Lawrence, who is at the lowest point of his life as a jobless mechanic tormented by his meaningless life. But after Johnny saves the victim of abuse, Miguel, from his bullies, he is motivated to revive the legendary Cobra Kai school. But Johnny's revival of his career and the following misconceptions reignite his old conflict with Daniel LaRusso, a wealthy entrepreneur who, while happily married, is lacking a crucial balance in his life since the loss of his teacher, Mr. Miyagi. It is a fantastic and faithful sequel to the first Karate Kid, while yet being its own story with the same familiar characters. If you haven't watched it yet, do it now. Season 5 of the series premiered on September 9, 2022. And the show has an 8.5 rating on IMDb and a 93% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Number 1. Star Wars: Andor. It is a sci-fi action-adventure series created by Tony Gilroy. It is a prequel to the Star Wars spin-off movie, Rogue One, and follows the story of a rebel spy, Cassian Andor, during the 5 years leading up to the events of the film. The series takes a new look at the Star Wars universe, centering on Andor's adventure to learn how he can change the world. It tells the story of the escalating rebellion against the Empire and also how individuals and worlds got involved. It's a period of violence, betrayal, and mystery as Cassian is about to go on a mission that will transform him into a rebel warrior. Trying to compare Andor to Rogue One is pointless since Rogue One was a one-off film, whereas Andor is more like a modest Star Wars book adapted into a TV series. Despite the fact that Andor's backdrop is based on complex Star Wars history, it feels like the most anti-nostalgic Star Wars venture ever created, making it the most unique Star Wars story in a long time. And the show has an 8.1 rating on IMDb and an 82% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. That's it for today. Thank you for watching this video. And do subscribe our channel to see more videos related to movies and series suggestions.